Hey everybody, my name is Grohlvana and welcome to a quick review of Metro Last Light for Xbox 360. Now, I'm playing on the 360, but this was also released for PC, for Steam, and for the PlayStation 3. Now, rather than do a ginormous review that I'm sure most of you are going to be bored of, I'm just going to hit a couple quick points that I think you should always take into account when considering buying or renting a game. I'm just going to move through these topics very quickly and just give you guys a condensed version so we can all be on our way. Now, let's talk about graphics first, and before any of you say, well, graphics don't make a good game, I disagree. Graphics are usually a telltale sign of either a good game, or if it has bad graphics, a bad game. Now, of course, that's not always the case, but it usually is. This game is definitely not the prettiest game, and of course, it's set in an apocalyptic setting, so it's not going to be pretty anyways. Fallout 3 was an amazing game, but it was very ugly. But the graphics are definitely not the best out there to this date. That being said, they are still good graphics. They get the job done. I don't think anyone's going to complain about them, but they are definitely not the prettiest I've seen. The majority of the game is bathed in dreary and dull colors. However, of course, that's how they're going to make it, this game being, again, in an apocalyptic setting. All in all, the graphics are not the best out there currently, but again, they get the job done, and I don't think anyone's going to complain about them. And, there are some memorable set pieces that you're not going to forget about. Now, let's move on to gameplay mechanics, the main core of any video game. Now, this game is first and foremost a shooter. However, I didn't have much experience with the guns because I was going for the achievement where you go through the entire game without killing any humans that you don't have to. So I played almost the entire game like a stealthy ninja. Now, stealth is a huge element to this game also. You can go through the entire game without almost killing anyone, except in certain scripted action events where you are going to have to take out some people. I found the stealth elements to be refreshing, especially considering that I am a huge fan of playing games very stealthily. In Skyrim, I'm always almost in sneak mode. So this seemed like it would be a perfect game for me. And it really is. I mean, there's all sorts of things you have in your arsenal that you can use. You can shoot out lights so that you can move more freely. You can throw throwing knives to kill enemies silently. You can use silence weapons. There's all sorts of things you can do to be stealthy in this game. And usually how the layouts work is there is a map that you'll enter, and there will be enemies situated in all different locations, having their own conversations and doing their own little things. And it's really amazing how much work the developers put into setting up all these different locations, and there's a ton of them in the game. That being said, don't expect to just walk in the shadows and go through each map in a quick succession. It's actually very, very, very hard to not have guards raise the alarm or be alarmed themselves. Trying to go for a complete stealth playthrough, I found myself loading checkpoints left and right. It seemed like almost every 5 minutes. Now, don't get me wrong, I can always appreciate a challenge. However, the AI is kind of weird. For instance, if you shoot a light above their head with a silenced weapon, half the time they'll just go, huh? What was that? And then go back to what they're doing. And the other half the time, they'll immediately raise the alarm and they'll start running around like crazy, and you'll be screwed because there's nowhere that you can hide. Although that's kind of annoying, it doesn't really ruin the game for me, and it's still very fun for stealthy players. Now let's finish it off by talking about the story and the plot elements. So I didn't play the original game, nor did I read any of the books, so really the plot honestly didn't concern me that much. And actually, it takes a lot to please me in terms of video game plots. I'm usually very cynical about them. However, this game's story did do its job, although I couldn't really attach myself to it. There's not really any jaw-dropping moments as far as I'm concerned, unless you take into account the ending. Now, there are two different endings, and depending on the actions you do in-game, such as reunite a kid with his teddy bear or kill more humans than you have to, if you don't do pretty much all of the good deeds that you can do in the game, you'll probably end up with the bad ending like I did. That being said, it's still a pretty good ending, and it left me surprised because a game that I didn't hear much about before I got it, I didn't think it would wow me, but it actually did. Now, of course, I don't want to spoil any of the plot elements to you guys, but I can say it does its job, it's well enough, and I really don't have many complaints other than the fact that usually video game plots do not wow me at all. So those are really the 3 points that I think any game review should take into account. This is, of course, my first review I've ever done on my channel, so if you guys want to leave me some feedback below, of course I will read it and try to answer you guys. I always take in feedback. I want to be better at doing reviews. I think quick reviews, you guys might like them a little better than normal reviews just because I get in and I get out. And to end it, if I had to score this game out of 10, I would give it an 8. Very solid, although it does have a lot of areas it can improve. Other than that, my name is Grohlvana. Hope you guys enjoyed this review, and if you did, a like is always appreciated. Subscribe if you want to hear more of me, and have a great day.